I'm sitting here looking at some of the footage from a fishing trip we just returned from. Between my brother and I, we caught a 5-bass stringer of fish that weighed over 33 pounds. Now, run that through your calculator a couple of times. This is going to be one fantastic episode. I'm glad you're with us. You don't want to miss 1 second of the next half hour because Fox Sports Outdoors is on the air right now.
You're watching the only program with weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southeast region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Hey everybody, so glad you're with us on this week's show. We're coming to you from West Texas today, out near San Angelo, to one of my favorite lakes out here. It's Ivie Reservoir. Now, I want to show you something right off the bat. The normal water level is right in here. However, come with me, I want to show you something. Where the water actually is way down here. This lake is 38 feet below normal level, if you can believe that. Big drought out in West Texas, but there's still 50 or 60 feet of water out in the main river channel. So there's plenty of water and plenty of big old bass swimming around out here. So, first of all, we'll give you a little look at where Ivie is located. It's a great big lake. It's on the Colorado and Concho rivers. And we're going to go out today and do a little bass fishing. Now, they grow great big ones out here in West Texas. The Parks and Wildlife Department's done a great job with the fishery here. We've already got the Nitro Z20 launched and ready to go. We're going to bring you along with us. And while we're out doing that, we're taking you around your local region for your fishing reports this week from our expert team of insider reporters from lakes, rivers, and bays right where you live. We're in for a lot of fun today. Glad you're along with us. Let's get started fishing right now and get you started back at the FSN studios with your weekend planner.
The Salooner tables are predicting fair game fish activity throughout both days this weekend. Peak game fish activity should coincide roughly with the dawn and dusk hours, so plan to be on the water either early or late for the best action. Expect the sun to rise at 6:51 and set at 8:02. And evenings will feature a moon that is 37% visible. Stay with us. We've got fishing reports from across the area on the way. Plus, two-time Angler of the Year, Gerald Swindle, stops by to answer your Ask the Pro question. Back in a bit.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Tracker Boats. It's more than a boat, it's a tracker. Mercury Outboards, go boldly. Lowrance and the new Hook 2, the world's easiest fish finder. And Louisiana Travel. Plan your fishing trip at louisianatravel.com.
Big one. Big one. That big dude. Got some good rock in here. I love to fish these banks where you got scattered rock coming out here, and it's also pretty flat. A lot of this stuff's real steep around here. This particular one's flat. There's one. Boy, he whacked it. I pulled it over the top of a rock. It's a decent fish. Pretty clear water right there. You're done. You're all done. Oh, long, skinny, spawned out fish. And I'll tell you, that one has got it down in his gullet. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab a pair of wire cutters that I bought at the hardware store, and I'm going to save that fish's life, and I'll show you how. Hang on just a second. You can see down there he's got it right in the corner of his stomach, and I've got these heavy wire cutters that I bought at the hardware store, and I'm going to clip that off. Now all he's got just a tiny little part of a shank in there, less than 1/8 of an inch. That'll save that fish's life. See you, buddy. So that's real critical. If you deep hook a fish, you need to buy these real heavy dikes, these heavy wire cutters. And you can just reach down there and clip that hook off. Don't just bite the line off. That leaves a big long shank sticking out that fish's throat. And it's difficult or impossible for a fish to feed or eat that way. But if you'll cut it down right close to the skin, it'll eventually rust and rot out, but he can eat in the process.
This week's Tennessee, Mississippi, and Alabama Fishing Report is brought to you by Henry County Tourism. Check them out online at www.fishkentuckylake.com. I don't care where you are in the country, much less the three-state region we're going to talk about today, weather is key. Let's talk about Mississippi for a minute. And look, I always throw crappie at you. I'm probably always going to when it comes to Mississippi because in my mind, that's maybe the best crappie fishing state in the country. But I've been talking about Enid, Sardis, Washington, and I've been talking about Ross Barnett for bass. But I'm gonna give you a little tip that I just recently got. The Ross Barnett crappie bite is on fire. You're not gonna get those 3-pounders on the regular like you do on those other lakes, but there's not nearly as much pressure and the quantity is off the charts. Let's go to Alabama and I'm gonna talk about one place and we're gonna talk about Lake Guntersville. The spawn is on. Fish are around the banks, pretty easy to catch right now. You can catch them, throwing soft plastics around. You can catch them on a vibrating jig. You can catch them on a lipless bait. You can catch them on a swim bait. And in Tennessee, we're gonna talk about catfishing. I'm gonna throw you a little curveball and we're gonna talk about the Tennessee River. The Paris Landing area right now, the catfish are spawning. They get around the riprap banks, they get around the rock banks, just where deep water butts up to a shallow flat. And that's what's happening here. We'd love to see you on the water. God bless.
At the heart of Kentucky Lake is a special place known as Paris, Tennessee. It's a place where fishing, hunting, dining, shopping, and family fun are all served with a side of Southern hospitality. We hope you'll join us soon and experience this world by the water.
There we go. He's got it. Got him. That's a good one. Look at this. Big fish. Oh, big one. Big one. Big one. That big dude. Come here, you big-headed, spawned out female. Look at that. There's you a pig right there. Yes. Ha ha, look at that. I caught a great big fish on a little hammer claw. That bait is a fraction as big as that fish is. And he ate it. Look at that little old thing. That little bitty bait and that big-headed fish right there. Well, I say it's a spawned out female. She's still got a pretty good sized belly on her. Look at that belly. There we go. Well, look at this. This place is one of the fishiest looking places you can possibly imagine. It looks like there ought to be a fish on every tree, every stump, every rock. What an incredible looking place. This is the kind of place you want to look for, no matter if you're coming here to Texas or wherever you live. You're on these pre-spawn, spawning, and post-spawn fish. This is the kind of stuff they get around. They make beds right around the bases. These are bodark trees here. You can see that one. They'll make a bed in about 5 feet of water. You can't see them down there, but they're there. You just pitch and flip around the edges of those, and every once in a while, one of those bites. We're gonna put this fish back before we do any harm to her at all. There she goes. Up he comes. Oh, that's a good fish. That's a good one. Switched over to a big square bill crankbait. Trying to pull it down through some of these rocks and some of this jagged standing timber down through here. Kind of pull it through the openings. Fish. Up he comes. Oh, that's a good fish. That's a good one. He's got the front hook on my crankbait. Now he's got the back hook. Just don't hook me. Let me tell y'all, we are having ourselves a day today now. Look at that big pig. Big fat female. And I finally got a good one. I've been throwing this square bill crankbait off and on all day long, just knowing that in the spring, they bite that deal. That's a Strike King KVD square bill crankbait. And the cool thing about it is that that square bill deflects off of all the wood and all the rock cover. So you just crank it down through there, you don't get snagged, and as soon as it deflects off of something, one grabs it, and that's exactly what happened to that one. Look at that big toad. How about that? Oh my goodness, I caught a good one. We're having ourselves a day. I've got a story to tell you, by the way. Speaking of big fish, I've got a big fish story, and you do not want to miss this one. I'm gonna tell it to you here in just a little while, but right now, we're gonna look at this. These banks are kind of nothing here. I'll show you this bank that fish came off of. There's just a little bit of scattered bodark and some mesquite, a lot of big rocks, but there's a lot of big fish swimming around it too. Rocks and hardwood together is death on fish in the springtime. Let's put her back. Another big girl swims away. We are having ourselves a banner day on OH Ivie in West Texas. Hang in here though, because a cool big fish story's coming up real soon.
Hey folks, it's time for your Carolinas Report, brought to you by the leader in water sports along the Grand Strand Crazy Sister Marina. We've been here for years. We've been the leader for years. For all your needs on the water, you're in town, come to Merle's Inlet and check out our location. From going out on a charter to a nice cruise in the backwaters, we can take care of all your needs. Visit crazysister.com for more information. I'll tell you what, let's talk a little bit of North Carolina freshwater. The Roanoke River system is getting ready to fire off. Those stripers are going to show up. It's a great time to get out and have a good time. That's a big system up there. Make sure you're familiar with the regulations on the water where you are up there. There's so many different little changes in that whole water system. Visit North Carolina's Game and Wildlife website to find out what is going on that body of water and what regulations you need to follow. Moving over to South Carolina, the upstate, the Lake Keowee, Lake Jocassee, and Lake Hartwell system, the water temperatures are finally starting to warm. You're gonna start to see those fish starting to bed down up there. You can have a great time on any of those three lakes up there, targeting those bedding fish. Lake Jocassee is one of the most unbelievable, beautiful lakes in all of the Southeast. If you've never been there, put it on your bucket list to get up there and target some fish and enjoy that beautiful lake. Moving down to Georgia, you know, the Lake Seminole is way down south. It's getting warmer. It got warmer a lot faster. Those fish are, some of them are in that post-spawn mode. Get down to Lake Seminole, get out on the lake right now and start targeting those fish outside of those shallow areas. You can have a great time right now finding those fish stacked up in that post-spawn mode down there. This has been your Carolinas Report, brought to you by Crazy Sister Marina. Remember, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.
You know, everybody loves a good fish story, and I've got a great one for you. We came to OH Ivie Reservoir here out in West Texas and catching a few fish along. And my brother is my cameraman on many of my shows, and so he picked up a fishing rod, started fishing. Well, lo and behold, he caught the two biggest fish of the trip. And I want to show you some video. I actually picked up the camera and started rolling on these. The first one, you see him fighting it. This fish, on a digital scale, wound up weighing 7 pounds and 2 ounces. You don't see us weighing it, but we took the time to weigh it before we showed it and we released it. Then he turns right around a couple of hours later, picks up a rod again, puts the camera down, throws in and hooks another one even bigger. Again, I picked up the camera, started rolling on this fish. He fought it, finally managed to reach down, lift this fish and brought it up, and it was a whopper. And as you'll see, this fish weighed 7 pounds and 9 ounces. So again, my brother catches the two biggest fish of the trip. Watch the rest of this video. Another toad.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Lew's. Feel the difference. Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland. We know bass and crappie from heads to tails. And by Glacier Glove. Stay outdoors longer with our gloves, hats, and shades.
Got it. Oh, that's a good one. Look at that. Woo! Woo, baby! What an acrobat. Got him. Oh, that's a good one. Look at that. Woo, baby! What an acrobat. That was too obvious a place right there. There had to be one in there. Look at that, look at that. What a fight this fish is putting up. It's a good one. All right, you're done. You're done. You're done. Big old fat dude. Look at that. Wow, what a day we've had. I tell you. Well, let me tell you what's happened now. The sun's come out and it's changed things up a little bit. And let me tell you what happens. I'm going to pull back around here where that fish was just to show you. The sun's come out and these fish will tighten up to cover. So I'm still pitching that hammer craw. Another fat fish right there. So look right here. See these boat arcs? I've been catching fish just kind of scattered around, but now that that sun's come out real bright, these fish are real tight to these boat arc trees. So let's put this fish back. What a gorgeous fish. He's biting my finger. Beautiful.
Mirror Lure, building quality saltwater lures since 1937. Turn on the bite anytime. Tie on a Mirror Lure. Well, along the Georgia coast now it's redfish. They're catching all sizes of reds, from underslot reds to oversized bulls, but there's lots of that mid-size redfish catches being made. These are slot fish. They're going to go 3 to 6 or 7 pounds. Most of these fish are being caught around shell bars and ledges along the intercoastal waterway and at drop-offs into some of the deeper rivers and on the way back ends of creeks. In Alabama, Captain Charlie Gray out of Dolphin Island says trout fishing has been very good in Mobile Bay. The fish tend to be scattered and he's got a drift to locate them. He's using live shrimp and corks. And says most of these trout are in that 17 to 20 inch range. He says lower Mobile Bay and parts of Mississippi Sound also are producing some flounder for anglers using jigs and mud minnows. And he says pompano fishing has been good along the Gulf beaches for anglers using pieces of shrimp on a jig or just a small split shot and making casts off the beaches and catching those good eating pompano that way. And in Mississippi, sheep's head fishing continues to be on fire around the docks and bridges and rock piles. And trout fishing is great around Cat Island, in Biloxi Bay, Katrina Reef, and at the mouth of the Pascagoula River. There's a lot going on along the south coast now, so get out in the water. And when you go, please take a youngster with you.
You can always watch our latest episode on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Catch up on past episodes by clicking the archive button and learn about fishing techniques and new gear at our how-to page. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for new fishing videos every day. Simply search for Fox Sports Outdoors and click the like button on Facebook and follow button on Twitter. And watch a new episode every week on any device by downloading the free Waypoint TV app on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Motor Guide's new wireless and easy-to-use XI3. XI batteries, powering the world forward. Waypoint Marine, the Gulf Coast's leading saltwater boating specialist. And Strike King, designed by the pros, fished by you.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro question. This week, Rex would like to know, have you ever hooked yourself? And if so, how did you remove it? For the answer, we asked two-time Bassmaster Angler of the Year, Gerald Swindle, for an answer.
Many times. I average honestly hooking myself about 3 or 4 times a year. Matt Lee refers to me as, he calls me eagle claw hands. He said, dude, you got the toughest, roughest hands. He said, you just grab stuff I get hooks in me all the time. I actually have pulled one from my nipple with a feather on it. I was mixed emotions. I didn't know whether to be excited or scream. I did get it out. I do the string trick and just jerk them out, and it's really fast. And now I've become like the doctor on tour. I've gotten 4 out of Kevin Van Dam. I mean, I get them out pretty much out of everybody. I use the braided line and hold the hook backwards technique and just kind of put pressure on it backwards, use the braided line. The whole key to that is, you can watch it on YouTube, it's real simple to do, but when you commit to pull the hook out, pull the hook out. Don't ease into it. You snap that line like you're setting the hook. You tell them when you hold that hook down and you jerk it, don't ease into it, you snap it. Most people get kind of queasy and they just barely pull it and it pulls the hand over something. You hold the hook still and snap it out.
Thank you, Gerald. If you have a question for one of the pros, visit our website, click on the Ask the Pro link, and send it in. Now let's check out the latest Big Catch of the Week winner.
Hey everyone, it's time right now for this week's winner in the Big Catch of the Week contest. Someone gets their 15 seconds of fishing fame. She is Kayla Weatherman of Mocksville, North Carolina, with a 21-pound striped bass she caught at Smith Mountain Lake in North Carolina. If you'd like to have a chance to have your picture shown on television, just go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com, click on the Big Catch of the Week area on the right side of the homepage, and follow the instructions to send us your photo. Just a couple of quick things on our gear segment. If you want to use the right baits this spring to catch fish, not only here at OH Ivie, but wherever you live, here are a couple of good ones. We caught all of our fish on these 2 baits. First of all, on your right is a brand new bait. It's by the Jean LaRue Lure Company. It is a Jacob Wheeler Hammer Craw. It is a perfect size little bait for springtime fishing, for those fish around beds. We had it Texas rigged with a 3/0 offset worm hook. And on the left is a Strike King KVD 2.5 crankbait. It's a shallow diving crankbait that deflects off those rocks and off those logs and brush really well and attracts a bunch of strikes. We caught some good ones on that one as well. The other day I heard someone say that a joy shared is doubled and a burden shared is halved. You and I were never created to be alone. In fact, alone by its very nature is lonely. The Bible says that we laugh with those who laugh, we weep with those who weep. However, to have friends, you have to be one. You've got to reach out, engage people in conversation, make eye contact, laugh, be affable, because we all need friends. I'm glad you were along with us for this week's episode from beautiful OH Ivie in West Texas, not too far from San Angelo. We caught some big ones on this week's show. And if you're coming here, a great place to stay is Elm Creek Village. It's on the eastern shore of the lake. It's got everything you need, clean rooms, great little restaurant for breakfast, ice and snacks and drinks. Everything you need in one location, and there's the contact information. Jerry and his crew do a great job at Elm Creek Village. Thanks for joining us from OH Ivie. Until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.